Hello, welcome back to the Hultprize training session. And for the information, this is the final slot for our session that focus on the reflection. Before we start it, if you have any question, just write down in the comment section to deliver his slot. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to our panel, Dr. Rosli Zawati. Without further delay, we will start proceed our session. All right, doctor, the floor is yours.
Hai, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and very good afternoons to everybody. So thank you very much for your um, focus, for your commitment to stay tuned for this second session. I know that it's quite challenging for us because when we come to after lunch break, all right, the challenge might be based on your eyes and based on your mindset as well. All right, and in fact, in Pekalan Cepat today, the weather is quite is not good today. All right, so I hope that everything goes smooth, inshallah. And ladies and gentlemen, for this session, last session for your workshop, 2 days, yesterday and today, I will focus on the reflection. Perhaps for the last session this morning, we already discussed on basically what is the ideas, the business ideas that you would like to propose to your investors. Okay, and then the second thing we also discuss on the presentation approach, on how to deliver your ideas, deliver your content of your topics. We also discuss on the presentation skill. Okay, what are the criteria, the tips, and the main content that you have to cover in your presentation. And the last part, this morning, we also discussed on the judge or the evaluation process, especially on the hard price competition. So as far as my concern, as I mentioned in this morning punya slots, you have to put in mind that the hard price competition is different from the other types of competition. However, based on this competition, they divide into few other categories or programs, which one of the competition in this general hard price is the hard price on campus. Okay, so which more than 20,000 students get involved in hard price at campus. So today I would like to share with you the booklet for hard price competition. So we can go through one by one and look into in depth on how or what is the main content or the main requirement for this competition. Can we share the PDF document? Okay, you can get this document from the website of Hard Price Challenge. They already upload the booklet or the sample of the contents related to this competition. So I hope that everybody, all of the groups that involved in this competition, you may focus, read, and get all the detail through this booklet. Okay. Do we have that document? Not yet. Okay, and in fact, I think you have to go in deep on the website of www.hardprice.org/on-campus. Okay, there are a lot of information related to this competition through this website. Okay, so okay. Now, can you zoom the document to get a better all right, thank you so much. Okay, so this is the cover for the booklet for Hard Prize 2021. Okay, ini adalah dia punya tema for this year. As you can see here, they focus on the SDG policy on folder ataupun class 1 no poverty, class 2 ataupun dia punya element 2 zero poverty, zero hanger, class 3, class 8, 9, 10 and 12. Okay, so basically bila you nak focus on the ideas, generate the ideas for your project, please consider or look into each of these elements in SDG policy. Okay, get your ideas to relate with this SDG punya konteks ataupun polisi. Not necessary to have all of this element for your group project, but however you can focus only one, two or three, or at least two or three elements from the SDG. Alright. Okay, can we go to next slide? Next slide, rather next page. Alright, next. Next. Okay, in this booklet, basically, as I mentioned also, in this slot, morning slot, there are few elements that will be covered in this competition. Okay, that's why they define food. Food defines the human experience, which involve family dinners, religious feasts, quick snacks eaten during breakfast at work, and everything, right? And etc. So basically, this project for hard prize punya competition for this year, you have to focus on food which can transform or can be an agent for change. Okay. So now we go the next page. Okay, all right. This is the first, what we call it, the idea yang you can get from this booklet. Yang pertama, dia suruh rethink everything about food and its production, distribution and consumption. Okay, kalau kita nak go one by one from this booklet, I think it's not enough to have 2 hours punya session. But I hope that every group, okay, which join this competition, please look into each of these aspects from this booklet. Okay, next. You akan dapat all the ideas from this booklet basically. What are the basic things or the important element that you have to put into your project. Okay, next. Okay, second criteria that covered in this competition is you have to ask why our food system is failing humanity on a global scale. Okay, so food isn't just grown and consumed, it's also bought and sold on a massive scale. So changing food system isn't just about altering taste and behavior, persuading people to enjoy instead of cupcake and etc. So this is all the things that you have to get into the ideas on how to relate your project with a food. All right. But basically from the what we call it, the expectation from the judge is based on the contribution of your study. Okay, perhaps you can look into a different perspective of food punya issue lah, especially from Malaysian punya context. Right, that one number 2. Okay, we go to the number 3, element 3. Next page. Next. Okay, this is number 3. Envision the future journey of food for good. Okay, jadi bila if you go in this process too, you can see maybe the issue or the ideas for your project can come right from the beginning, or perhaps at the middle, or perhaps at the end of the process. So you can see which part of the ideas can come through and which part of the elements ataupun the problem that you can solve. Right, so this is basically the idea from the booklet of Hultprize 2021. Okay, so the detailed information related to this competition, I hope that you can get all the details from the website. there are two, as I mentioned, there are two types of requirement. You focus on the hard price at campus only. Okay, because I also mentioned in comments dalam Facebook MPP that there are three elements that cover hard price on campus. Yang pertama is based on wait, okay, hard price on campus program consists of three main criteria. Yang pertama, team pitch their startup solution to the challenge outlined in the case document. So you can find the case document from their website on hard price hardprice.org/on campus. Okay, dia ada bagi case document. And criteria number 2, judge, watch and score each of the pitch and engage in Q&A. So by the time you finish your presentation or your recorded video, you will have a direct Q&A session with the judge. And this is where you have to make sure that you get all the information in your mind, and you have to prove to the judge and the examiner as well that you have the significance information and you have the ideas ataupun the problems too which can contribute to the third party as well as to the contribution to the local community. And number 3, the element number 3, selection of the winner is based on the criteria provided. So the criteria also provided in Hard Price punya website tadi. Okay, everything in the website of Hard Price. So I hope that go in deep on this website, all the document related to this competition, and make sure that you can have the detail before you start brainstorm your ideas with your group members. All right. So I think that's all for the information related to, ada number 4, sorry. Commit to your priority dimensions on impact. Macam saya cakap tadi lah. You have to make sure that all the project or the ideas that will be proposed by your groups must have the impact either to the community as well as the environment. Okay. So next we go the slide. So today for this afternoon sessions, second session, we will cover on the reflection on the presentation ataupun you punya video, recorded video. Okay, bear in mind that when we talk about video punya recorded ni, the most ataupun the mistakes, okay, yang paling obvious, okay, by any presenter adalah when you didn't put the priority at the first place. Okay, so meaning to say dia jadi macam seolah-olah dia lambat panas. Alright, meaning to say you have to make sure that the main content of your idea must come first. Okay, do not wait until at the end of your presentation, then baru you nak present ataupun you nak explain your ideas. Okay, because sometimes judge, they have their own perception where they want to go short and precise, straightforward on what are the particular issue that you would like to present to your investors. Okay, so for today session, saya akan share different video related to the presentation punya skill ataupun presentation punya style. And each of the after the presentation tu ataupun the video tu kita akan buat refleksi together. You can use your own papers, your own book note and everything. Kita akan buat refleksi sama-sama, okay, together. I hope that you can repeat. You have to avoid from repeating the same mistake from this video. Okay, saya bagi the bad impression ataupun the bad attitude of the presenter, and saya juga bagi the best or the world best speaking public speaking winners. Okay, untuk you tengok the differences between the bad presenter, and the best presenter. Okay, so please bear with me until end of this session. So the question today is how to become a great presenter. Okay, you have to put yourself as uh, someone who are looking for investment. Okay, you are not someone who are looking for marks for A, because you are not a student. Okay, so try to put yourself as an individual who are looking for an investment, looking for a money. Okay, so how to be a great presenter. Okay, now watch this video first.
For the third part of this class, I want to talk to you about mindset. Mindset is an unbelievable difference maker between success and failure. Over the last 10 years, I've trained and our team has trained more than 1 million entrepreneurs on the ideal way to think about problems, solutions, and how to roll those ideas to the marketplace. All of our experience, we've boiled down into something we call the Hultprize mindset. So far in this course, we've talked about getting to market, go, go, go. I mean, the name of this course is called go to market. And we talked to you about what not to do. We talked to you about the resources required. And we told you that you're going to need more than just a good idea to roll your idea into the marketplace. One of the most critical components of success, and I'm telling you this from our experience at the Hultprize of training more than 1 million entrepreneurs, is the most critical aspect of going and getting to market. And that is mindset, the Hultprize mindset. As you explore the world of mindsets, you'll realize that these aren't some things you can just learn in a textbook. Having the right mindset takes training. It takes time. And hopefully this course, this video, will be your gateway into a new mindset that will allow you to change the lives of millions of people, but change the lives of those around you, including yourself. So our 3 mindsets that we've combined to build the Hultprize mindset include purpose mindset, grit mindset, and empathy mindset. Those 3 combined will make you into a game-changing entrepreneur. So critical to having the right Hultprize mindset is this idea of purpose. Purpose mindset is quite simple. It answers the question of why, right? Everything you do has an answer to the question, why did I do that? I often talk to people with the most simple example of what did you have for breakfast today? Did you have something that was planned, or did you just have something to get you by? Or maybe you forgot to eat breakfast altogether. Knowing why you wore what you wore today, why you ate what you had for breakfast, why you're going to have an appointment at 2, not 4, and understanding the purpose behind every decision you make is the purpose-driven mindset. And if you're not already there, you need to get into a regular habit of asking yourself, every action you take, every moment of your life has an answer to the question, why? The second characteristic we've rolled into the Hultprize mindset is the idea of grit and the grit mindset. While grit is a big word that a lot of people use to define characteristics of entrepreneurship, oftentimes young people struggle to understand what exactly is grit and how do I achieve it? How do I achieve a grit mindset? Well, for us here at the Hultprize, it's simple. Align your passion with your purpose and then persevere to accomplish your goals. A daily dose of measuring where you are today against the goals you've set for yourself will allow you to accomplish a mindset of resilience, a mindset that allows you to establish failure is not an option. The grit mindset sets you apart from your competition, sets you apart from your peers, and elevates your status as an entrepreneur because you refuse anything but an outcome that results in a step closer towards your goals. The final mindset that we've combined to create the ultimate Hultprize entrepreneur mindset is empathy. Empathy is often confused for the word sympathy, but it does not mean you feel sorry for somebody. It also doesn't mean that you're able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Being really and truly empathetic means that you have the mindset to actually transcend into the physical space, into the emotional area, and into the mental capacity of people, both more successful than you, less successful than you, more fortunate than you, and less fortunate than you, and actually be able to be empathetic to their lifestyle, to the decisions they make, and to shape shift your own self into their bodies and their minds. It's an amazing and I think a game-changing mindset that if you achieve allows you to have anything you dreamed of as an entrepreneur and as a change maker. Empathy mindset.
Okay, so everybody clear on the video that mentioned about the great mindset. Okay, so this is the CEO or the pioneer of the Hultprize competition, Mr. Ahmad Ashkar. Right, so he talked more about the great mindset. Okay, so saya harap semua participant which involved in this competition, okay, wherever you are, either you are in group or you are in individual, staying in at your homes or hostel or anywhere you are, please for these 2 hours session, make sure that this is the reflection session, okay, which we'll be together to reach out anything, to study, to learn how to be a good presenter and how to get in depth of each of the idea that you are going to present to the judge or to present your idea to your investors. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just now we watch about what are basically a great mindset. Okay, uh, if you want to be a good presenter, so make sure that you have a great mindset. Okay, you know what are the things that should be done either in the current situation or in the future. Okay, you know what is exactly the problem that you have to tackle and what are the solution that can solve that problem. Okay, so basically bila you tengok that video just now, please study, get all the apa the main ideas how to be a great mindset. Benda ni pun saya rasa you have been discussed a lot in the previous session during the how to be an entrepreneur and what is basically the entrepreneurship. When we talk about an entrepreneur, you cannot run from the word of great mindset because the great entrepreneur, they have a great mindset and they have a lot of potential. They have a great thinking, behavior, as well as their attitude. Okay, so please make sure that you get all the content from the CEO Hultprize punya perspective. Okay, now we go to our main point today is the we have to reflect on the bad presentation first. So bila you prepare your own video presentation, especially for how to get an investor and how to get the audience attention, please make sure that you avoid from doing this bad presentation. So we watch this video first. Sambil kita tengok video ni, please write down the main important things so that we can write down the reflection session. Okay, so we watch the video first. Okay. All right. Now we go to the next slide, which reflection. Okay. So because the topic is more on reflection, jadi kita akan buat together. Okay. So based on that previous video just now, saya suka nak bagi in a video punya approach, because when we give you a video direct punya sample ataupun example ni, you can get into your mind. Okay, instead of saya list down dia punya a bad and a good presentation, right? So now we go one by one each of the a bad presentation punya attitude tadi. And this attitude basically is happen for I think most of the student, in fact the lecturer as well. Okay, in fact kalau you go to any bengkel, even the trainer as well, they do the same mistake. Okay, so in order for you to get to get your video nanti become more interesting, and in fact you can have your audience punya attention, please make sure that you avoid from doing this mistake. Okay, yang pertama mistake, the bad presentation yang pertama adalah you carry a lot of things during your presentation. That's why kalau you pernah dengar, if you heard about 3 minutes presentation, 3-minute thesis presentation, okay, this is where you have to present your thesis within 3 minutes. Just imagine you buat final year project, then we give you 3 minutes to tell people what are basically the contents or the issue or the finding of your research. Okay, 3 minutes. So you don't have to carry anything. When you have a presentation, make sure that you don't carry any item. Even please try to avoid having a notes during presentation. Alright. Number 2, do not wear informal clothes. Yang ni yang common lah, especially bila when we have a virtual punya event macam ni, or even virtual class, online class. That's why kita ada adab-adab, alright, in having a virtual punya class. Especially please do not wear a short pants during a virtual class. The same thing goes to presentation. Even though the presentation is only contohnya macam you are not doing a formal competition, not for competition base, but please make sure practice yourself to have a formal punya attire in order to get in front people, even though a virtual punya medium. Right. Number 3, do not read from the screen. Okay, yang ni pun saya selalu always remind my students when you have a presentation in class, for example, do not read your notes ataupun do not read your content from the slide. Okay, which kalau you membelakangkan slide is okay, but do not try to put your back to the audience. Okay, so benda ni satu kesilapan yang paling besar where you are not respect your audience. Okay, sebab tu number 4, do not stand back with your audience. Okay, please make sure that in front of your laptop is your laptop and you read your slide ataupun your content of your presentation using a slide. But most probably for your presentation nanti untuk Hultprize punya presentation video project, please use any skills or any technology nowadays. Avoid from having a notes either in your hand ataupun your eyes looking at any screen seems like you are reading a notes. But try as much as possible to use your own word to make sure that you can get the attention of your audience, right? Number 5 is do not present a paragraph. As I shared this morning, there are 3 elements to have a great presentation. Okay, so you have a great content, a great design, and great delivery. So do not present apa you punya apa kita panggil the slide tu tadi tu in a paragraph base. Okay, put everything in infographic so that based on the infographic you can deliver your ideas. Right. Number 6, this is the the most common mistake yang people doing is you answer the phones during the presentation. Right. Please keep your phone silent mode or switch off your phone during your presentation. You are respecting yourself and in fact you respect your audience as well. Okay. Number 7, do not speak a monotone. Monotone ni maksudnya you bercakap in one line or in one level of suara, okay, voice you. So make sure that you have where you have to put your volume high, okay, where you have to slow down your voice. So this is where you have to know. You can increase your volume or the tones when you want to put your content tu ataupun topik tu you want to highlight the main topic, okay, and then the rest bila you try to present ataupun to elaborate that content, then you can slow down your voice. Okay, number 8, do not fold your arm. This is more on body language. Okay, when you stand up, please make sure that you move to the left, right, in front and the back supaya is look into your body language punya movement. And the last one is do not read directly from the notes. Ini pun comments. You bring your papers in front ataupun this is something that looking you are not confident to your presentation. In fact, kalau I am the investor, sometimes I'm looking for someone who are really confident with your topic, with your ideas. Then I will give my money to you. Or else kalau you sendiri tak confident with your topic ataupun you punya idea by looking at your notes during presentation, then how can I give you my money, right, to invest in your company? So this is some things that you have to look into each of the bad presentation. Then not necessarily for you to follow the presentation skill as mentioned in this video. Okay, so but basically I hope that you can make sure that you make practice make perfect, and perhaps you can do better than the other parts of the presentation in this video, right? So this is the first reflection yang kita buat. Second reflection, which I hope that you try to avoid from having the same mistake, right? So ladies and gentlemen, now we go to the next video, which we will show you a few tips to be a great presenter. Okay, now we watch to the next video.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Public Speaking. Today's first presenter is Ranjit, and I would ask everyone to give him their full attention. Chantal, could you dim the lights, please?
The British imposed a lot of unpopular taxes on the American colonists and didn't let them elect representatives to the British government. In retaliation, the Americans started to boycott British goods. In 1773, Americans in Massachusetts dumped a shipload of British tea into Boston Harbor. This became known as the Boston Tea Party. As punishment, the British imposed laws known as the Intolerable Acts, including the Quartering Act, which made Americans let British soldiers live in their homes. Some of the American colonies created a Declaration of Rights and Grievances, which they sent to Britain, but the British just sent soldiers to the colonies to put down any rebellion. This led to the first battles of the Revolution at
Thank you, Ranjit. I know it's very hard to give a presentation in front of the entire class. Now, would anyone like to offer Ranjit constructive feedback about his presentation? Any tips for what he might do differently next time? For example, were you all able to hear what Ranjit was saying?
Not really. He needs to speak louder and face the audience.
Yes, great suggestion. Anyone else?
He was reading from his paper, so it didn't feel like he was really talking to us, you know?
Exactly. It's important when you're speaking to look up every sentence or two and make eye contact with someone in the audience. Anything else that Ranjit could do to appear more relaxed and feel more confident?
He could smile more.
Yes, smiling makes us feel relaxed. Oh, and make sure your phone is off before you speak next. I do have one more suggestion. Connect with listeners. It's a great idea to use a personal story or experience as an example. Can you try that next time?
I think so, yes. Next week, my presentation will be about the causes and effects of stress.
We look forward to hearing it. Ranjit is first up again today, and I look forward to his new presentation. Jorge, could you dim the lights, please?
Today, I'd like to talk about the causes and effects of stress. Stress has many causes, including work or school, life events, changes, or unrealistic expectations of yourself. Some effects of stress include headaches, trouble sleeping, depression, or lack of concentration. I know how hard it can be to deal with stress. Last year, I started working after school to save for college, but I didn't have time to do homework and my grades went down. I had trouble sleeping, I only ate junk food, and I stopped hanging out with my friends. Fortunately, I was able to talk with a school counselor to manage my stress. She suggested that I reduce my hours at my job, eat healthy food, and
Okay, doktor, kita boleh jawab soalan
Yeah.
Q&A.
Okay.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the Q&A session. So let's start with the first question from Firdaus Muhammad. The question is, bagaimana kita nak hilangkan nervous, lagi-lagi when present by using English language?
Okay, bagaimana nak hilangkan nervous lagi-lagi present dalam bahasa Inggeris? Okay, dia it is not deny bila kita speak in other language which we are not familiar with, memang nervous tu akan datang at any time. Okay, but I think the previous video tadi pun mention, you just look at your audience, smile and be positive. Okay, English ni dia practice sebenarnya, and in fact bila you have to make sure that you are look confident and you memang be yourself. Maksudnya nervous tu dia satu benda yang normal bila dia datang, tak kira kita bercakap bahasa Melayu ataupun bahasa Inggeris. Okay, tapi in order untuk you hilangkan nervous adalah dengan cara you tarik nafas. You have to put in mind dulu what are the contents or the information that you want to deliver to your audience. Okay, either in English or even in Malay. Okay, so cara untuk menghilangkan nervous at the first stage adalah you have to make sure that you calm down dulu. Okay, tarik nafas, relax and senyum. Okay, so barulah you akan rasa macam you know what is the best way to deliver your message. Right? Next, any questions?
All right, doctor. Thank you for the answer. We can continue for the video.
Okay.
And how to cope with stress. Stress has many causes, including work, or school, life events, changes, or unrealistic expectations of health. Some effects of stress include headaches, trouble sleeping, depression, or a lack of concentration. I know how hard it can be to deal with stress. Last year, I started working after school to save for college, but I didn't have time to do homework and my grades went down. I had trouble sleeping, I only ate junk food, and I stopped hanging out with friends. I was able to talk with a and my hours at the job helped me exercise. I literally started school and bringing me. I also asked my teachers. Now I feel better. It's important to recognize when you're stressed and to ask for help. Thank you.
Great work, Benji. I want you all to reflect on how much stronger today's presentation. Ranjit looked in the eye. He spoke clearly. He smiled at us. And he used a personal anecdote to help us feel more confident. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I think this is among the best video that I have in order to learn how to be or how to avoid the mistake in our presentation. Okay, saya suka nak share benda-benda yang related to the personal experience macam ni, because sometimes we can look into or in deep, okay, each of the orang punya mistake. Sometimes kita tak tengok on our part. kita ni sentiasa akan ada buat mistake ataupun kelemahan during our presentation. Macam saya pun, as far as my concern pun, even though I am a lecturer, but I'm not deny that the nervous tu akan sentiasa ada. Okay, especially bila live macam ni, or especially bila during the class punya session. In fact, when we are appointed as especially on the speakers, even the judge as well. Okay, but one thing you tengok daripada video tadi, is more on public speaking basically. But based on the public speaking, we can learn how to control ourselves and how to build up our character. Okay, kalau you tengok at the first stage, that presenter tadi, the mistake that he did adalah dia speak dalam monoton ataupun dia speak. You can see that it is seems like he are not confident on the topics given to him. Okay, so that's why dia bercakap dalam monoton ataupun the voice is not too clear, okay, for the audience. Dan kalau you tengok, itulah yang berlaku, is happen, I think common, is always happens in our class during face to face, especially bila you get the lecturers yang he or she didn't control the voice. In fact, they don't have a movement, the body language, and etc. Okay, so you akan rasa bosan, you akan rasa sleepy. In fact, you can use your phones to text friends, play games and everything. Okay, itu sebabnya when you have the presentation or you do or you try to deliver the message, you have to know which part that you have to use your high tone and which part you have to lower your tone. Okay, number 2, apa kesilapan dia tadi adalah reading a note, or he bring papers during the presentation. Okay, that's the biggest mistake. Even the second part, when he improve dia punya presentation, he still bring a papers. Sometimes I give you a tips, bila you have the presentation in front of the audience. Ini face to face lah kita panggil, face to face presentation. In order to avoid from having a nervous ataupun untuk mengelakkan daripada menampakkan diri you menggeletar ataupun menggigil, bring something and you hold something in your hand. Okay, contohnya you bawa pen, pencil, something that you can hold during the presentation, so it doesn't show you punya menggeletar, you punya the nervous tu. Itu tips dia. Jadi even though you have a recorded video pun, but you still nervous, so the first tips yang saya boleh share dengan you adalah to bring something and hold something during your presentation. So you have to move, okay, you punya body movement tu during your presentation to make sure that you try to put yourself at the comfortable situation. Sebab itulah bila you have that topic, make sure you are clearly understands on the topic given to you. Dia akan nampak even in any presenter sekalipun, kalau you are not well prepared with your topic, you akan nampak, you as a audience, you akan nampak tahap nervous dia, tahap kesiapsiagaan dia. Meaning to say you are not well prepared with your topic. Tapi kalau you prepare, okay, it looks like you are very confident and you deliver the message clearly, smoothly. Right? So, number 3, apa yang based on the video just now, you kena senyum, smile. Ini benda yang paling murah, yang tak perlu dibayar when you have to smile. But sometimes smiling is too challenging for you, is too expensive for you to deliver. Because when you nervous, you forgot, or you tend to bring yourself in the serious punya or in the stress mood. Sebab tu bila orang menyanyi, when you have a singing competition, the judge always say related to the emotions and the words given ataupun the lyric itself. Sebab tu bila you present as well, you have to make sure that your storytelling tadi must be aligned with your face, your smile. Okay, there are one part that you have to be serious, but the other part you have to be a smart. You have to smile, right? So meaning to say, you know where is. Sebab tu saya kata at the first stage, create your storytelling first. Okay, what is the ideas, what is the words, what is the sentence that you are going to present, and then come with one story, and then you know where is the tones that you have to put higher, where is the tone that you have to lower down, and everything, right? One thing from that video just now, kalau you tengok, dia present based on his experience. That's why bila dia cerita, dia present, he looks like very confident. Okay, he put himself at his place. Sebab tu kalau you remember my words this morning is just be yourself and have fun. So bila you rasa diri, you buat diri you enjoy the topic, you enjoy the sessions, then that emotion tu will transfer to your audience. Macam sekarang lah, even if this session ni saya stress, I put myself in the negative mood, for example, simultaneously that emotion will goes to the audience as well. Okay, so bear in mind that even saya faham, I am the lecturers as well. Bila kita bercakap, student doesn't give the attention. You know, we are human. You kena faham. Students, lecturers pun human. Jadi bila ada kelas online, please respect your lecturers. Okay, sama juga bila you being a presenter, you need the strategy how to get the people attention, right? So itu adalah video yang refleksi untuk video yang ketiga tadi. So I hope that you can take note which part that you don't have, you cannot repeat, what are the bad presentation, and which part of the presentation that you need to further improve, and etc. Right? So now we go to the next video.
Hey practitioners, today I'm going to be teaching you, with the help of my friend Dana Bluin, the top 7 tips for a great presentation. Dana Bluin is an entrepreneur currently living in Bangkok, Thailand, where he is a co-founder and CEO of a company called Mango Labs. Anyways, here's some of his tips. We all have to give presentations at different points in our life. That might be for school or work or an organization that you are involved with. No matter where we give the presentation or to who, we want to make sure that it has the impact on the audience and that it's memorable. These are 7 tips that are going to ensure that you nail the presentation and leave a lasting impression on your audience. Number 1, know your audience. The first step in preparing for any presentation should be to get a better idea of who your audience is. Knowing your audience will allow you to understand the type of content they are going to be expecting with regards to depth and technical detail. You wouldn't want to give the same presentation to a group of high school students who are interested in entrepreneurship that you would to a room full of startup founders and CEOs, because their expectations and level of understanding will be on completely different levels. Dig up as much as you can about who your audience is, what industries they work in, and what positions they generally hold. This allows you to really tailor the content and delivery of the presentation in a way that will really make it stand out and be memorable. Too many times people give killer presentations at one venue to a group made up of their core audience and then bomb on the same presentation to a different group because they didn't make the changes they needed to better address the new audience. Just because you kill it in one audience doesn't mean the same exact content will replicate the reaction with all audiences. Number 2, use structures to build on ideas. If you stand up and give a presentation and all the points you want to make are just tossed around randomly and they don't make any sense, not too many people are going to enjoy your presentation. And if they remember it, it's likely that it's not for the reasons that you want them to. However, if you structure your presentation in a way that each idea, each section builds on the one before it, you help your audience connect with the content and create logical links between the concepts. This is a great way to make more complex ideas easier for the audience to understand and remember. Number 3, use visuals. Another great tool to cement those ideas in the mind of your audience is to use visuals like charts, graphs, and infographics to illustrate and communicate a concept. As many as 65% of people are considered to be visual learners. So if you don't take this approach in your presentation, you are going to ignore the vast majority of the population. Using an image, regardless of if it's a picture, graph, or chart, can be a much more potent conveyor of information and has a much more powerful impact on the audience. A single image can convey so much information. Just like the old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. It really is. Think of the impact this can have when explaining data or results in a presentation. If you had to stand there in front of your audience and go through every data point verbally, it can get bad quickly. And this is much more common of an occurrence than you might think. But if you're able to visualize that data for your audience with a graph or chart, you instantly make it much more understandable and memorable. Showing someone 200% growth with a graph is much more exciting than explaining it while they're looking at the raw data. For example, if I took away the screen of this video and all you saw was black, it wouldn't be near as exciting. Number 4, repetition is your friend. Having a bit of structure in your presentation goes a long way in keeping the audience engaged because they can follow the information from step to step. But even more than just structuring the flow of the presentation, you also want to build in repetition. This encourages people to remember the key points of the presentation and helps it stick, which again makes it and you more memorable. A classic way to go about repetition is something Dana learned early on when he started his public speaking career. Another speaker at a big regional tech event came up to him after a talk and complimented Dana on his delivery and the depth of the material, but asked why he didn't use more repetition. Dana was a bit stumped because he never really thought about that before. The other speaker suggested that Dana start telling the audience what it is he wanted to tell them, just to give them a brief rundown of the key points. After that, move right into the body of the presentation and tell them exactly what was highlighted at the beginning, but obviously with more detail and extra elements that you add in to make the presentation stick. Then end the presentation by telling them what you just told them, reminding them of the key points and a brief summary for final repetition. Using this technique helps to reinforce the main points of the presentation at least 3 times, at the beginning, middle, and end. The key is to find a way to do this that it feels natural and not overly scholastic, and that takes practice, which we'll talk about later on. Tip number 5, have a story to tell. The difference between an average presentation that people zone out of and a great presentation that keeps them engaged is how you convey the information to the audience. A great way to convey the information or key points of your presentation is to use a story. By using a story, preferably an interesting one, you get your point across and you're creating a moment in the presentation that is memorable and easier for the audience to recall later. It's also hopefully going to be something that catches their attention, pulling them into what you were saying. One of the keys here, though, is that it has to be a story you can tell with commitment, and it has to be true. Always be honest with your audience, because if you're not, they will know and you will have lost all credibility. Tip number 6, be relatable. Being relatable is actually one of the most important factors of your delivery. You want to be someone that your audience can relate to, that they would feel comfortable with talking to. Even when giving a talk as an expert on a topic, you want the audience to feel the relation. It helps them mentally engage with your content and remember you and your talk. Most people don't feel comfortable going up and talking to a stern authority figure, and no one wants to listen to someone with no confidence. So there's a fine balance you need to strike, and here's how. The most important thing you can do to come across as more relatable is to be authentic. Be yourself. Another great way to accomplish this is to work on coming across as relaxed, which can be difficult if you're not used to presenting, but this goes a long way to helping people see you as relatable. The final way you can be more relatable is to be enthusiastic about your presentation. Your enthusiasm will transfer to your audience, and now that you have enthusiasm in common, you will begin to see as more relatable. If you get all 3 of these techniques mastered, you will be well on your way to making it to your audience relate to you. Tip number 7, build your confidence with practice. This might be the last tip, but it is by far the most important one out of these 7. Confidence in what you do is by far the most important element of your presentation. Having confidence adds an authority to everything you say during your presentation, but you're not going to develop the confidence you need if you don't practice, and practice a lot. Whenever Dana gives a talk or presentation, he practices. He says for hours. Dana wants to make sure he has the timing down, that he knows every slide so he doesn't have to read off them. He knows what the next slide is so he can smoothly transition between them so that he will sound natural and authentic, and can explain the concepts and tell the stories with confidence. And this all comes with practice. When you are practicing a presentation, it's not enough to sit in front of your computer and go through it. You have to practice it in front of other people. Invite some friends over and have them give some feedback on your presentation and make improvements based on their feedback. No one gets it right the first time, but practice will get you towards perfect. With these 7 tips, you should be able to put together and deliver a masterful presentation that will wow your audience and make sure that they remember you and your topic. If you guys like this collaboration, be sure to check out Dana's YouTube channel and subscribe. He has tons of videos on entrepreneurship and self-development. I hope you guys liked this video and learned something. And if you did, click the like button, or if you haven't already, the subscribe button. Thanks so much, guys.
All right. So just now we watched the video which sharing about the 7 tips to be a good presenter. Okay. So basically from this video, kalau you perasan, if you notice that from the first video that I share with you, It's more focused on what are the bad, what are the good presentation. Then this time around, we focus on what are the tips to be a good presenter. And in fact, this point basically you have to use in any types of the presentation, not just for the competition, as well as if you being a speaker, a trainer, a facilitator. In fact, if you are being a lecturer in one day. Okay, so basically, the first point that been discussed from this video just now, the first thing when you try to build up your presentation is to know who is your audience. Okay, sebab tu bila at the first stage saya dapat je this topic, this invitations, I ask who is the audience. Okay, and what is the purpose of this program as well. So now back to your business is basically your presentation is based on the Hultprize punya competition, and you have to know what are the objective or the focus of this competition. So now you know who is your audience. So your audience must be the judges, of course, and your audience must focus on the investors ataupun the entrepreneur ataupun the businessman, or perhaps maybe those who are interested to invest in your project. Okay, so this is your audience. So as far as our concerns related to Hultprize punya competition, they are more focused on the professional punya targeted groups. Okay, so the way of your message, the way of your slide, the way of your presentation must be in a professional punya approach. Okay, so first you have to know your audience. Once you know your audience, you know what is the topics, the contents that you have to deliver to your audience. Okay, all right. Number two, you have to build a structure. Sebab tu saya cakap at the first stage, if now you are in a groups, which 4 members in the group, so each of the group members, you have to put yourself as a presenter, and you have to build a structure for each of the group members. Okay, ada storytelling, ada which part for first presenter, second, third, and fourth presenter. Okay, so build up the structure to first is the introduction. Okay, so what are basically the focus of your business, and what is the issue ataupun the problems related to your business. Number 3, how the business ataupun the issue will contribute to economic impact ataupun the local community punya job creation and etc. And number 5 is how your program, how your business tadi will contribute to the environmental sustainability. Then towards the end, you can wrap up your session by having or telling to your audience that this is the program or the business or the issue that have to take into consideration and further action in order to preserve and conserve the environment, for example. Okay, so build up the structure of your presentation. Jangan buat daripada A to B to C, then back to B, B to D. Right, it's not good for you. So build up the structure first. Alright. Number 3, use a visual in your presentation. Okay, maksud visual ni adalah yes, do not use a paragraph punya slide. So in between of you are doing your video punya project just now, when you have a storytelling, you know where is to share your slide number 1, for example, slide number 2, and each of the slide that you prepare for your group project, your group presentation, make sure you put it in infographic punya design. Okay, bila kita put in a infographic ni, sometimes mata kita ni akan memandang kepada the design first. In fact, for your information, ladies and gentlemen, dalam dunia ni we have 3 types of people. Okay, which these 3 types of people ni akan influence ataupun akan reflect the way of your presentation. The first group, what we call it kinesthetic people. Orang yang kinesthetic. Kinesthetic ni dia tak suka kepada percakapan ataupun apa dipanggil luahan semata-mata ataupun bercakap semata-mata ataupun membaca reading from the slide, from the notes from the lecturers ataupun the speakers. Kinesthetic, they focus on activity during the lectures. Sebab tu kalau students ataupun secondary school, dia more fokus on the kinesthetic students ni, dia kena cikgu bila mengajar 10 minit, you have to take 5-10 minutes untuk you buat activity ataupun game ataupun quiz. Okay, because orang kinesthetic looking for activity, body movement, activity during the lectures. Group number 2, dia panggil visual. Okay, orang yang visual ni dia suka kepada pemandangan. So ataupun slide you mesti info, kalau benda infografik ni dia memang suka because they are more focused on visualize. Okay, dia akan mudah tertarik dengan apa yang dia nampak, apa yang dia tengok, what is in front of them. Okay, sebab tu dia suka kepada slide yang design yang cantik dan the way of you present, the structure of your presentation. Number 3, orang ketiga ni adalah dipanggil audio. Orang yang lebih suka mendengar. That's why orang yang jenis ketiga ni, dia tak suka sangat kepada nak tengok kepada slide contohnya. Dia tak suka sangat nak buat banyak aktiviti. Dia suka membaca ataupun dia suka belajar melalui pendengaran. Therefore, kalau you study at the same time you pakai earphone and you kena dengar music, meaning to say you are audiolized punya orang. Okay, those who are audio punya person ni, dia lebih akan mindset dia akan lebih tertarik kepada apa-apa yang didengar as compared to apa-apa yang dilihat. Right? So, based on these 3 type of people, you have to know that this is also reflect to the judge or to the audience. Okay? Therefore, in your presentation, you must have these 3 elements in your presentation. Maksudnya during your presentation, you kena buat activity, okay? You kena buat game for example, but not for this competition lah. But based on this competition, I believe that you have your own style, you have your own strategy because it's based it's based on the business that you are propose. Okay, so not necessarily focus on the activity, but you focus on the visual punya people as well as the audio punya people. Okay, so itu 3 group yang you have to remember. Okay, even though for your future you become a manager, you become a leader, you become a lecturer for example, this is only 3 types of people in the world. So make sure that bila you become a presenter, think of these 3 strategy ni untuk you get attention of your audience, right? Okay, just now from this video kita pun tengok number 4 tips dia adalah repetition is your friend. That's why kalau you perasan most of the presenter dia akan repeat 2 or 3 times of the main point yang dia nak audience dia get attention. Okay, because repetition will make sure that you are reinforce the main topic to your audience. Right? Therefore, it is important to have repetition in each of your presentation. Tapi bukan repeated yang until 10 times, okay, for each of the topic. But you have to make sure that people will get the main point from your presentation. Okay, number 5, have a story to tell. As I mentioned just now, please make sure that you have a storytelling. Number 6, be relatable. Okay, relatable meaning that you have to have an engagement each of the point tu dengan another point ataupun you relate with that particular situation. Okay, that's why kalau you perasan most of the speakers has also, if they give a point, they will give an example. Okay, this is how to relate the point dengan the example tadi, right? And the last tips from this video is to build your confidence with practice. Ini pun benda yang common, yang selalu you dengar, practice make perfect. When we talk about practice make perfect, please make sure that each of the group members put your effort, okay, put your responsibility to have your own time to practice. Duduk kat mana pun, wherever you stay, Okay, wherever you are, make sure that we are now in a virtual punya meeting. We have a new norms in our life. So get yourself familiar with new norm ni supaya you akan put your effort and responsibility to make sure that your presentation becomes smooth and clearly understands by your audience. Right? So this is the video sharing about a few tips related to your presentation. Okay. Now we go to the next video ni. Okay. This video basically is focused on the winners. Okay, public speaking in the world. So I think from this video ni nanti you boleh tengok attitude dia, style dia, body language dia, the tone, okay, using by these winners. So you tengok, you perhatikan, you perhalusi, and you evaluate yourself. Can I be, or can I copy the style of these winners, for example? Or you have to take note on what is his strength as compared to your strength. Okay, try to reflect yourself between you and this presenter. Okay, now we go to the next video, please. Okay, World Champions of Public Speaking 2014.
Danajaya Hediarachi, I see something. I see something. Danajaya Hediarachi.
You and I are not very different from this flower. Just like this flower is unique, you are unique. All of us have something special that makes us as beautiful. Do you know what makes you special? Now, the answer to that can be a little difficult to find because sometimes life has a cruel way of picking out your petals, breaking you in two, and throwing you into the trash. And when you're broken, it's very difficult to feel special. Mr. Contest Chair, my fellow flowers, I can remember the first time I broke. I was 17 years old. I had already flunked high school and managed to get myself arrested. Now, I wasn't afraid of the cops, but there was one person I was very afraid of, and that was my mama. Raise your hand if you have an emotional mother. Let me see. Put them all together, you get my mama. I can hear her scream outside the police station. Even the cops were afraid. She came up to me, held the iron bars, looked into my eyes, and I saw a tear coming down her face. Now, I've seen my mama cry before, but mothers cry 3 types of tears. Tears of joy, tears of sorrow, and tears of shame. And when a son sees a mother cry tears of shame, that's a life-changing moment. She looked at me and said, "Son, I want you to be a better man." That night, when I drove home, my dad was waiting for me at home. Now, my dad is a cool dad. Raise your hand if you have a cool dad. Put them all together, you get my dad. My dad came up to me and said, "Son, it's okay. You flunked your exams. You already got arrested. That's fine. You get that from your mother's side. I want you to start working immediately. And I said, okay. So my dad took me to meet one of his friends called Sam. Now, Sam was an accountant who had an accounting firm and had generously decided to make me his personal assistant. And there he was. He looked like a teddy bear. But this man was special. I looked at him and he looked at me. And then he said the most amazing thing. He said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you decide to work with me, I can help you find that something. And I was like, whoa, that's the first time in my whole life somebody has ever told they see something in me. And I started working for Sam. And every day after work, he used to tell me stories about the world, about history, about culture, about philosophy. And it was much more interesting than what I learned in school. And I discovered I can dream. And I started dreaming, ladies and gentlemen. After 1 year, I went back into high school, completed my exams, and went into college. After successfully completing college, I found a great girl, but not a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Have you ever had that problem? And when you're lost, it's difficult to feel special. So I went back to my cool dad. And I said, Dad, I feel lost. He said, you are like your mother. So my dad introduced me to this strange club that had a strange name with strange people talking. On the first meeting, they told me to do something called a table topic. I aced it. But while I was speaking, I see a strange man seated in the back row, humble, simple, the unfailing quality of kindness in his eyes. As soon as I finished, he walked up to me, looked me dead straight in the eye, and said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you come here twice a month, maybe we can find that something. And ladies and gentlemen, I discovered I could speak, and I love speaking. And that led me to become a teacher. I know what it's like to not have enough money in your bank account. I know what it's like to worry when the bills start coming in. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up my beautiful wife and I ask her, honey, why did you marry me? She says, I saw something in you. But I still don't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm a dreamer, I'm a speaker, and I learned the unfailing quality of unconditional love from my wife. I was broken, and I've been broken, lost, and broke many times in my life. But the people in my life were able to reach into the trash can and make me whole again. If it was up to me, I would have never been able to do that. And this is why if you have great people in your life, no matter how broke, how lost, or how broken you become, they can piece you back together. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at you, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. Over to you.
Alright, the video is quite funny basically. Alright, but what I would like to share is not the funny part. from this the winners for the world champion public speaking. All right. The difference between you, I mean, you is a you have a group members. Okay, you are four members in one group, and the previous video shows a public speaking individually. So, what is the difference between group members and individual punya presentation? Okay, the main things, the differences between individual and group presentation is the organization or the structure of the presentation itself. If you do presentation individually, then you have to control the audience individually. Okay, meaning to say you have to speak in front of the other peoples, in front of the audience. If face to face, it's more challenging as compared to present virtually. Okay, macam sekarang what I'm doing now is I am presenting or I am sharing to you virtually, individually, without I notice any audience in front of me. So I can say anything, and I don't have to think about the audience punya emotion, the audience punya thinking, because I don't see any audience. But if you are presenting or you are the presenter in front of the other people face to face, the first thing that you have to take into consideration is how to control the emotion of your audience. Okay, the emotion meaning to say you have to get audience engaged with your topic first. That's why it is important for you to ask the audience. For example, okay guys, how are you? Are you okay today? Have you get your breakfast, for example? Have you have your lunch, for example? So meaning to say you are relating or you are engaged with your audience. Okay, so kalau you just speak alone ataupun you are individually speaking without concerns to your audience, then your audience feel they are left behind from your presentation. Okay, therefore it's important for you to have an engagement between the audience and the presenter. But now we talk about the group presentation. Okay, the group presentation is quite challenging, where you have to have a storytelling or the structure of your presentation first. I know that I noticed some of the questions from the audience for the last session. In fact, the current session, you asked me about how to present in front of the audience, how to present in English. Okay, kalau you put aside language, kalau you tak perlu present in English, for example, put yourself as a presenter in Malay. Can you do better? Can you attract your audience to see, to focus for your presentation in Malay, for example? So, you buat practice your presentation, first kali audience you adalah kanak-kanak, for example. Search for any nephews, for example, child school, get them to be your audience. Cuba you tengok, if you present, your audience tu tadi, budak-budak tu, anak-anak buah you ke, budak-budak ke, for example, can they get attention ataupun can you notice either they are interested to your topic ataupun your presentation or not? Kalau you tengok muka dia seems like bosan, boring, sleepy and everything, so meaning to say even though in Malay pun you cannot get the people attention, okay, apatah lagi having a presentation in English. Therefore, the key term here is to have a lot of practice. Put your effort to do a practice as much as possible before you get into the competition. Okay. Now, I noticed that some of you having the level of confidence is too high. It's good to have a confidence, but not too confident in each of your presentation, because sometimes bila you terlalu confidence, you are too confident with your topic ataupun your presentation, you might lose something. Okay, please make sure that bila you do your group presentation, you know which part of topic for presenter 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so daripada previous video just now, the word public speaking, you don't have to be apa kita panggil pelawak, alright? You don't have to be that particular attitude pun, because your audience is your judge and the investor. But you can put a little bit smile in order to show that you are now try to attract the audience, the attention of your audience. Okay, and whatever it is, either before presentation, during presentation, or even after the presentation, put yourself in 3 seconds. Okay, 1, 2, 3, then you can start your presentation. If you think that you lost in the middle of your presentation, oh I'm lost ni, apa topik yang aku kena cakap? Oh okay, right? Relax, put yourself in 3 seconds. Okay, 3 seconds to make sure that you can set back your mind and you can recall back what are the main things that you're missing. Okay, jangan terlalu rush in order to make sure that you are on time, finish on time, for example. No. Okay, but some parts you know which part that you have to put high priority and which part that you just go briefly. So this is very important for you to know the strength for each of the group members. Macam saya cakap tadi at the first session tadi, you do some sort of analysis between your group members. Okay, presenter 1, what is your strength, what is your weaknesses? Presenter 2, 3 and 4. Bila you tengok where is your strength, okay, then you can put under you can strategize you punya presentation. Bila you buat recording video, okay, recording video ni you can put at as much as possible yang you boleh. Kalau you buat sekali tak jadi, okay, next, record lagi. Sehingga you dapat make sure that you have one director ataupun someone who can evaluate your presentation. Okay, then therefore, dekat situ, you buat first and then you analyze, you evaluate your presentation punya content. If your evaluation, if your content of your presentation doesn't meet the requirement of this competition, make sure that you revise. Put again, brainstorm again, add more value to your presentation. Okay, but you have to do in 2 different parts. First part is put yourself as a presenter. Okay, you practice as a presenter. You just speak any topic, any issue, just speak in order to make sure that you are practicing English and practicing your voice tone and etc. The other part of your presentation is to present on your content. Either your readers ataupun your audience tu understand clearly the contents of your presentation or not. Okay, this is where you have, at the end of the day, you have to combine both elements ni, the presentation skill and the contents ni become one video presentation for your Hultprize competition. Okay, so make sure that these 2 elements ni synchronize between your group members. Lepas tu saya cakap, jangan tunjuk one members ni at a higher level and the others at par ataupun at the lowest part. You have to make sure that each of the members you berada pada level yang sama or balance. Okay, tak nak nanti nampak seorang ni memang speaking tahap London punya and then the rest is speaking orang Kelantan. Okay, no, you have to put and practice until you get the same level for each of the group members. Kalaulah these members ni yang speaking London ni tak boleh nak diubah dan yang speaking Kelantan ni pun tak boleh nak diubah, then you have to plan the other strategy or put the other alternative for your presentation. Okay, because the main elements in the group presentation is to see the synchronize between your members and the contents of your presentation. Okay, the other parts of the element from that video just now is your body language. Okay, so that's why dia ada buat memek muka. They move around the stage. Okay, same goes to your group members. kadang-kadang you don't know how big the stage for your competition. But in your case, when you record your presentation, make sure that you find a rooms or yes, a room lah. I think the most appropriate area which can show you from the top to the bottom. Okay, maksudnya you present clearly standing in the stage ke ataupun in a room where you can put a background and everything and you can move around. At the end of the day, you compile all the video between your group members ni become one video. Sama juga macam konteks yang kita tengok sebelum ni, how they create a music daripada more than 10 peoples different different places become one video ataupun the choir. Sama juga. Dan this is where the creativity comes in for your group presentation for this competition. Okay, but bear in mind that the most important thing is the content or the idea for your business startup just now. Alright, so ini juga saya share link saja for essential body language tips from a world champion public speaker tadi. Okay, yang ini at any time lah you boleh watch that video. Okay, you boleh tengok and then make sure you do a lot of practice, do something to improve your weaknesses and try to figure out which part of the elements yang you kena fulfill in order to meet the requirement for this competition. Okay, next slide. Okay, I think before we end the session, perhaps we have any question from the audience, moderator, before I conclude this session? Kalau ada soalan daripada how to make audience understand what we talk about. You can't evaluate either your audience to understand ataupun tak on the contents of your presentation, but what you can evaluate is the reaction ataupun the emotion of your audience. Itu kalau face to face. But in your case, kalau you dalam what we call it visual ataupun virtual punya presentation, memang you cannot measure either people or audience to understand or not on the content. But what the most important thing is, bila you present, you have to understand clearly the topic for your presentation. So bila you understand that topic tu ataupun the content of your presentation, as I mentioned just now, point ataupun the ingredient, the topic that you try to deliver to your audience will transfer to the audience. Dia jadi macam ni lah. You have to be honest in each of the words, in each of the elements that you deliver to your audience. Bila datang keikhlasan from the presenter, dan dia akan turun ke hati for your audience. Okay? Basically, you have to be honest during presentation. Sama juga macam lecturer. Kalau you cuba nak putar belikkan any topics, you try to move to another, another area which you try to avoid from answering the question, people might get either you are being honest ataupun tak. Right? So, in order to make sure your audience faham apa yang you sampaikan, make sure that you are the one who understand first. Then that info akan deliver to your audience. Right? Zaza Ahmad, I think I hope that I can answer your questions. Alright, next, ada lagi ke? How to explain things clearly without any stuttering. How to explain things clearly. The word here is confident basically. Okay, kalau you nak present something tu clear without Macam saya cakap ada apa lagi, kita panggil apa dia punya word dia, sometimes dia panggil habit ataupun attitude orang tu. Sometimes dia panggil lack of confidence of that speaker. Okay, but as I mentioned just now, what you have to do is to take 3 seconds to make sure that you know what are the contents for the next topic yang you nak present to your audience. Okay, so number 1 is confident. Number 2 is understands clearly the topic yang you nak cover. Okay, so bila you understand the topic tu tadi, you akan deliver smoothly to your audience without stuttering. Dia akan jadi stuttering ni bila you basically you don't understand or you are trying to avoid from explain detail on that particular issue. Itu yang jadi. Right? Therefore, it is important for you to make sure that you are well prepared. Prepare, read, study, do your own research related to your topic, then you can deliver smoothly to your audience. Okay, Muhammad Zaidi Jauzi Jumat. Right, I think I answer your questions. Anything else? Oh, Afika Arifin, is it easy to present in front of people? It's not easy, dear. It's not easy. Right? Why? Because we are human. Okay? When we talk about human ni, we have an emotion. Orang yang suka present from in front of people ni adalah they are being apa dipanggil? They are being ataupun kita panggil miracle. Okay? For those who have that skill tu tadi. Ataupun she or he was born to be a speaker, for example. Then dia akan jadi, there is no problem for them to speak in front of others, in front of people. Okay, tapi for us as a normal people, human, it's not easy unless you practice make perfect. Maksudnya tak ada orang yang dilahirkan dia terus keluar, lahir je daripada ibu dia terus boleh bercakap. No. Okay, tak ada satu pun manusia yang dilahirkan macam tu. So therefore, you have to do a practice in order to make sure that you can speak in front of people, and you have to learn how to cover, how to control your emotion, and learn how to control your mindset. Okay, so hopefully when you have that 3 elements, mindset, your heart, and your confidence, you can be a good presenter and you can deliver the message smoothly to your audience. Okay, so I hope that this is the last question from the FB to wrap up the session today slot. For the presentation or the video ataupun a recorded video that you are going to prepare for this competition, I hope that you focus on first kali what is the objective of this competition. Okay, as we discussed starting from the early morning is the focus on the themes for this year is food for good. Okay, must have the elements of the impact, the economic impact, how you contribute to the local community impact, as well as how you create the job to the local community. And number 3 is how you are going to relate with the sustainability elements. Okay, so this is the 3 elements how to get the ideas for your project. Once you already brainstorm the idea among your group members, start strategize your structure, presentation structure just now. Do some sort of storytelling. Okay, who are going to be a first presenter, second, third, and fourth. How you are going to start your presentation, how you are going to brief the contents, and how you end the session. Okay, brief that element. And then number 3, when you have all the things and everything, make a practice. Okay, ask someone to be a judge ataupun a commenter for your group. Okay, ask someone who are expert in English, for example, to assist you in deliver the language in English. Ask someone who are expert in your topic area, okay, to assist you in how or what are the issue, the related issue based on the topic that you are going to prepare. Okay, and you can ask your friends or your fathers, your mothers, or even your family to become a commenter for you. Okay, which part that I need to improve, which part that I need to remain, or which part that I need to remove. So ask someone to be a presenter. When you are well prepared, okay, then you can start recording your video. Okay, recording your video is not easy. Bila you just put okay 10 minutes we record and then finish. No, put your effort to make sure that bila recorded video ni you can do the best. Remove the apa yang you make a mistake ataupun you don't confident with your level of presentation, remove, then you repeat again until you satisfied, then you combine all together become your video. Put yourself creatively, okay, in order to rearrange your structure your video punya presentation, okay, and be professional during your presentation. Sekarang ni saya bercakap between for both segment lah. Either you are doing a face to face presentation or visual punya presentation. In this case you are doing a virtual punya presentation which you boleh buat record you akan buat the best recording video, tapi you have to bear in mind that you have to have a live Q&A session, which masa Q&A session ni make sure that each of group members ni take responsibility for each topic yang you expected to be asked by the judge. Jangan sampai Q&A session semua orang empat-empat senyap, tak tahu siapa nak jawab. Okay, make sure you coordinate clearly among your group members. Alright, so last but not least, I hope that all the video that I shared just now make use everything, make use all the contents and get reflection from each of the video just now, and do the best for your presentation for your group video nanti. And I hope that you can find a good fact ataupun supporting document to support the idea, because at the first stage ni I think is more on the delivering the idea first. Based on the idea, then how you can turn the idea into the practice. Okay, so wherever you are, please consult with the mentor that you are accessible to you or relate to your bidang, your field of the study, for example, and ask them to consult and to give an advice and etc. With that, I leave you with a quotation and the hope that you will perform well because you are the best. Once you challenge yourself to be in this competition, I believe that you are being selected and you have that talent because you are the best. All right. Best of luck, my dear, for this competition on the 7th of December. I'm sorry because I can't be with you on the 7th of December, right? I hope that each of the group members can do better, can have your own character, and can have your personality during the presentation, right? Sesungguhnya segala yang baik itu datang daripada Allah dan yang kurang itu datang kelemahan diri saya sendiri. Saya minta maaf atas segala kekurangan sepanjang daripada pagi sampai ke petang. Halalkan segala yang saya beri dan segala yang saya belajar daripada you all juga. Semoga apa yang saya sharekan hari ini will be benefits to you and your friend as well. Last but not least, good luck. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to moderator.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor, for the great answer and the tips here with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have really come to the end part of our slot. hope we will learn something to improve our skill and knowledge. We would like to say thanks again to Dr. Rosli for the information and interesting talk. And to the audience, thank you so much for interesting with us till the end. Hopefully, the sharing will be beneficial for everyone. Thank you for your attention. Stay safe and stay at home. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and goodbye.